Welcome back to my online YouTube video tutorial series. In this video, I'll be showing you how to draw the front end and the plan for two pieces of material, a cylinder and a square that joins each other. So I'll be generating the interpenetration and also draw our three views. The first step is to change to my construction layer. Next, draw a line. Draw one vertical line, one horizontal, and one line at minus 45 degrees. Tab minus 45, enter. Yep. So we have this is a vertical, this is a vertical, this is a horizontal. So my next step is to move this. I left click on this, drag the middle to this point. Then I move this, escape, type M for move, enter. Select object to be moved. And it's important to note that a selected object is not a highlighted object is not a selected object. Here, the command bar is telling me which command is active. So move is active, and it is asking me to select the object. To select this object, I left click once, I press the space bar or the enter key. So I press the enter key. It now asks me to specify the base point. I left click here, then left click here. That part is done. My next step is to generate this rectangle, generate the front elevation. Now, this is two rectangles combined. So I will be using rectangle command. So I type REC, and left click. So in this case, the last rectangle I drew was at an angle. So I would need to click rotate and reset the angle to 0. Enter. And so the X here is 40, 60, 60, enter. So this is this part. I'll let this part stay for now because I do not know the distance across here as yet. Yeah, so I'll let that part stay for now. So I'll then move this in place, or let that stay there for now. Probably I should move it. M for move, enter. Click here, turn off the auto mode, go down, get that there. Next, I'm gonna copy this, or I'm gonna draw the plan. I could draw the plan now. I'm gonna draw the circle first. So to do that, I type C for circle, enter. Left click here, drag go to the end. Then I'm gonna draw a line from here, or I could also draw a circle from here. Could draw a circle. Left click here and let this be about 40, or let it be about that much. That much is good. That is good. Escape. So I will be using this circle to establish the distance for the plan. So I then move the circle, M, enter. Well, what I could do, instead of moving this, I could draw a circle starting here with 2 points. So I could go circle, C, enter, and click on 2P, 2 points, and I'll then left click here to start, go down, type the distance I want that to be, which is 40, 40, enter. This is now drawn at 40. I then delete this. So the purpose of this is to establish a distance here. Yeah. So it's another way of actually drawing. So this is pretty much there. Yeah. All right. Let me just check to ensure this is aligned. L enter. Oh, something was off. I did something wrong right there. All right. So what I could do, I could simply draw a line from here down, vertical line here. Then I could move this to that. So there are several ways in which you could do this. I could have drawn this line in the first instance and don't have to do this. So there are so many ways of doing this. No, I'm going to delete this. The next step is to establish the center for the end elevation. And to do that, I must check to ensure that quadrant is active. Quadrant is very important in this case. So I type O snap, OSNAP, enter, and check. Yes, good. What quadrant does, quadrant allows us to snap onto the north, south, east, and west point. So my next step is to establish the center. So I type REC for rectangle, enter. I then left click the center and then track this point, the center across here. Yeah, I now have the center. So here is the center. Right. I could copy, that's one way of doing it. Yeah, let's get the center. Um Now I could go ahead and draw this rectangle here by typing REC, well, spacebar for rectangle. I could do this several ways. Several ways I could do this. I could click here, then track this quadrant here. That would have been the first point. Spacebar, click here, and track this quadrant here. Track that quadrant there. Then I changed my outline there. So I might be using a little complex. This might appear as complex to some persons, you know. Might appear as complex. I don't know. The thing about this though, if your object map is not, well, probably I should use a simpler method, quite frankly. Because I think this has moved. All right, let me copy this. CO enter. And snap this onto this. Delete. So that didn't come out too well. Right. So this is my end elevation. So this can be done so many ways. So many ways. I could have established my center and then, well, which I did, and then copy this to that. Because this is basically the same thing. So I let the center of this be the center of that. And what I did, I used object snap tracking to track the center for this line. Track from here to there. Now that I've established this, the next step is to draw this rectangle. So I realized with this version of AutoCAD, it doesn't allow me to draw an inclined rectangle and enter the length and the width. I'm not quite sure if that's a flaw in AutoCAD architecture, but it doesn't allow me to. So what I'll do, I'll draw a rectangle flat, then rotate it at an angle. Or I draw the square. So I type REC for rectangle, enter, left click, and this is 20, comma 20, enter. So this is a square. Now I'm going to rotate this. So I left click, then type RO for rotate, RO, enter. I then choose a base point. It says specify a base point. I left click here, and the rotation angle, in this case I want it to be 45, as this is rotate, this is slant at 45. So I type 45, enter. That's pretty much there. Now I want to move this in place here where the center is. So I can click this, then move M, enter. It says specify the base point. I'm going to track to get the center for this. Use object stamp tracking. Left click there, then left click here, and that's there. Now that I've gotten this, my next step is to draw a line from here. Draw a line from here to there. So L, enter. Space bar, and the length of it is 20. So I use a circle, C for circle, and I left click here, choose 0 for the radius, enter. And this will then give me the distance for that. So what I'm realizing here is that this is placed too close, way too close. So I'm gonna draw the rectangle anyway. So this is a little confusing, I know. Escape. Then I delete this. Now I don't need it anymore. And I trim, TR, enter, enter. Click here, click there, and I can now delete this part, delete that part. Yeah. So I need to move everything here a little bit over to that side. Left click there, engage orthogonal mode. That is good. So M, enter, left click, bring that back a little bit. Yeah. And that is good. Now my next step, TR, enter, enter. Trim this. MA, enter. So my next step is to generate the width for this. Again, I'm using rectangle. Change my construction layer, rectangle, and I left click here, bring this down to that point, and where that touches there, that's a point. Space bar to reactivate. I left click here, bring that down to that, where that touches the 45. I bring that out. Yes. And now I track this line. So I go for line L, enter, track this point, go down to that. Could trim this TR, enter, enter. MA, enter. Explode, enter. Explode, enter. MA, enter. MA for match property, and I want to match this line with that, and that. Escape. So that is my front. Well, I need to brighten up this. MA again, enter, left click here, left click there. So this could be done much faster. As you can see, I made a couple of errors on it. Yeah. So this is basically how you draw the front and then plan. Oh, a line is missing. Line here. That's missing. Match property, MA, enter. Touch here, touch there. So this is pretty much done.